Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Hawkeye Season 1, Episode 5, Ronin. So this was kind of like another filler episode, but we got a lot of reveals in this episode, and there was some good action towards like the end. However, it feels like another filler episode. Like, I hate to say this about this show, but it's a little lackluster. Like, it's not what I thought it was gonna be like at all. It feels more like a holiday sitcom like show, but with some action and drama in it. One main problem I'm having with this show is that there are too many plot threads in this show. Let's see. Let's off the bat. You have one, two, three, four, five. There's about 5 or 6 different plots going on in a 6 episode series, and it's not a different plot per episode. And I'm just like, dude, 6 episodes is not a lot. Now, I rag on the CW a lot, but at least they got a good 20 something episodes, or at least 13 at times. They need more episodes for these Disney Plus shows because they're not perfect at all. They got their flaws in them. Some are very entertaining, but they need longer. This show is trying to cram way too much into 6 episodes, and it is not working for people at all. And I mean at all. But it's nice and enjoyable, but that's all it is. It's not like awesome or rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? Also, it's weird. Some people are now saying that Kate Bishop is a Mary Sue. And I thought about that. I'm just like, okay, maybe in the first episode. Like, okay, granted, you have to watch the intro. The intro in the first episode, it literally tells you she has been doing this since birth. She's done martial arts, gymnastics, archery. So she's very well trained. However, when she went into the field for the first time, she was too good for the first time. I mean, I had a problem with that. She was whooping on these huge 200-something pound guys with ease, but then every now and then she'll get hit back, but then she'll bounce right back. And I'm just like, for her first time, she should have like failed more. And then when she did the whole running through traffic thing and flipping through cars, that was a little too much for me. That was a little too Spider-Man-ish for me and stuff. So I get what they say that like in probably like the first episode because she was flawless, but ever since then she's been messing up. But she's been aided by that of Clint. So I don't get why people are saying that other than the fact that they just don't want to see a female in the lead because they were hoping to see the male Hawkeye. But she is also Hawkeye from the comics, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, this episode, like I said, a lot of reveals. So I was right with some of my theories in this show, so I'm happy about that. So basically, it piggybacks off what happened last week. After that fight, she went home to her mom, told her what happened, how Clint doesn't want her being around her, and all this other stuff. And I've always had this weird feeling about the mom. I've always told myself, why did they cast this actress? She's a big name celebrity. Watch any of her movies. Most definitely watch Bates Motel. You will see how gifted she is. And then she's barely in this show, but she always has a shady look on her face. And so, like, Kate's telling her this and that, and then she's all like, "You want to look into your boyfriend because he's into some kind of like shady business and stuff." And so, like, you just get this weird vibe from like the mom, you know what I'm saying? And then so, like, what is it? Clint, at some point in time, he is like talking to his wife about the watch and about the Black Widow assassin and all this other stuff. And then he goes to hang out with the black dude from the Renaissance Fair. Why is this guy even on the show? Is he from the comics? Because he's taking up screen time that could be filled from like an actual person from the comic books or a person from the actual MCU. So then Kate, she's still upset, and she goes back to her old apartment that got burnt. And guess who's there? The new Black Widow. Oh no, wait, I totally forgot to say how it actually started off. It started off with a flashback 5 years ago, during the Thanos snap. I don't like the blip. That's stupid. The Thanos snap or the Infinity snap. So anyway, Yelena, which by the way, I still have not seen the Black Widow movie. I should. I mean, I got Disney Plus. I just haven't had time. I don't really feel like sitting down for 2 hours like all this other stuff to do. So anyway, um she's there. She's on a mission with like another Black Widow agent, and I guess they went to another Black Widow's house thinking she was brainwashed. So they try to like unbrainwash her and stuff. But it turns out no, she just wanted to stay there, live there, and live her life. And so she goes to the restroom, and all of a sudden, poof, she turns to ash and dusted and stuff. But then poof, she's right back. I do like that visual. It's nice to see people who got dusted come back. They did that in WandaVision. However, one problem I have with that, I'm cool with her dusting. But then after she came back and she's disoriented, you see the room start to like shift and morph into like what it looks like 5 years later. Why? That made me think that she was in some type of holodeck simulation or something like that. But she wasn't. So she comes out and she wants to know what's going on. The woman is now married and has a kid. And she finds out what happened to Natasha. And so, like, the other stuff I said before with Kate and her mom and Clint, all that, then that happened afterwards. So now Kate goes back to her apartment and there's like ash everywhere that burned down. And guess who's there? Little Miss Black Widow. I have to say, even though I have not seen the Black Widow movie, I am not feeling this new Black Widow whatsoever. Jennifer Pugh or whatever her name is. No, wait, not Jennifer Pugh. Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh. I am not feeling her whatsoever. Like, they made her so comedic in this episode, which again, the MCU Marvel is written for babies. Like, I'm sorry, it is the truth. DC is written for grown adults, and Marvel, since they got bought by Disney, they've turned into like for babies, which is weird because you know Marvel comic books were very mature. Look at the X-Men, and look at the Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why are they writing this for little preschoolers and stuff? So she tells a bunch of jokes and she tries to be funny, but she's not really funny. The actress, she's good when it comes to drama and action. That's what she's best at. When it comes to humor, she is off by a mile. She misses all her cues. So basically like this, she'll say something that's supposed to be hilarious, but it's kind of like serious but hilarious. And then instead of pausing and waiting, she says like the punchline right after, like within seconds. That's not how you do it. You set it up, you pause, and then you hit them with that zinger type thing, you know? She don't do that. Somebody needs to teach her how to do comedy, or just start writing comedy for her. And I'm sick and tired of all this humor in the MCU. The only reason, and I do mean the only reason why it was in there is because Jon Favreau wrote it in for Iron Man movie, and then Josh Whedon did it for the Avengers. Only thing is, you know, Iron Man is known for his one-liners and his quips and stuff like that from the comics and in the cartoon series. So that made sense. And Josh Whedon is just Josh Whedon and everything. And so everybody else in the MCU and Kevin Feige is kind of like, hey, let's keep that. Everybody's laughing. And like, no, stop that. People are tired of laughing. We need to get serious. And so like she's there and she's talking about like she's trying to calm like Kate down and talking about how she's just here to hang, made you some food. Kate's kind of worried. She's all like, look, if I wanted to kill you, you know, I would have like done it the moment you came in the door and stuff. But she's all like, I've been protecting you and stuff like that. And she's talking like, how? You threw me off a building. She's like, first of all, I put like a rope on you and I got you out of harm's way because you was distracting and stuff. And then she just went on and on and on. So Kate ends up like bonding with her quick. Kate loves herself some superheroes and stuff. And so, like, she tells her she was hired to kill Clint, but she also is a vendetta. She wants to kill him because he let Natasha die. And Kate, she loves Clint. She's all like, he's a hero. He helped save the world. And so Yolena's kind of like, whoever brainwashed you, did a number on you because like he is no hero. Just think about because she knows that he's Ronin. Both of them do. She's all like, just think about all the people he's killed. Think about all the people Yolena have killed. And so when she realizes Kate is gonna protect Clint no matter what, she's not gonna get no answer, so she leaves. And then when she leaves, she tells her, don't get in her way again. And then when she leaves, she does in a very comedic kind of way. She turns back, like she hits her grappler hook on like the window. She turns around and she just like falls out the window in a kind of cartoony kind of way. And it's just like, you know, I don't wear a diaper no more. I don't have a bib on me no more. I don't drink from a bottle. I don't have a teething ring. Write me some mature adult content. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of this baby crap. And so Kate, like I said before, she's gonna protect what's his name? So like then she goes back to her mom's place, and all of a sudden some like some like security agents are there, and they arrest Jack. And I'm just like, well, that was quick. And the mom's all like, oh, yes, you was right. I found out some shady stuff about him. I'm just like, no, something seems weird. He is a red herring. They basically took a villain from the comic books who has a motif and put him in this show as a red herring. And I'm just like, that's a waste of a villain. I'm just like, no. There's something going on with that mom. It's just the way she says it, this and that. And then when Yelena was all like, somebody hired me to kill him. She didn't say who, but she just gave a weird look. I'm just like, I know who it is. Like, it has to be her. So when Clint is at the dude's place, he tells her that one lady made like the two costumes, and I don't really know what the costumes are really gonna look like. Because they're making it seem like a big mystery, but if it's the same one, because there's a trailer. Remember the trailer that came out before the series came out, and it shows both Clint and Kate with bows, and they're shooting arrows back to back. I'm thinking to myself, could it be those like costumes? But no, that's what they've been wearing this entire time. So it has to be something different. I bet you they're gonna give him something closer to his costume from the comics. If they do, that would be so cartoony and stuff. It'll make the geeks happy, but it'll be so cartoony. So this is basically the entire episode. But then we get some stuff with Echo and cause Clint, he talks to like his wife and talking about how Echo has like all this stuff on him, and he keeps bringing up the big man. So we all know who he's talking about. He's been teased for a good while. Is there like a fat man auto shop place and stuff? So when the two hench dudes from the Tracksuit Mafia are like hanging and driving, somebody shoots an arrow through the windshield with a note, and the note is for like Echo to meet them someplace. So he meets Echo, right? And he meets her with his Ronin costume on. Now this is the cool part. He's doing like his ninja thing, and then they go into it and they fight hard. And so God, I can't remember. Something happens where she gets the upper hand on him, and then Kate like shoots an arrow, and so he's able then to like escape. And so what is it? I'm trying to think, because this episode, like I said, is a lot of dialogue heavy. And so before he escapes, he's talking to Echo and he's telling her straight up, you know what I'm saying? I think somebody hired for like your father to get killed and all this other stuff, and it was your boss. And she doesn't want to believe it because the Kingpin's her adoptive dad. And so, of course, he would do that because he wants to isolate her away from her dad and stuff. And she doesn't want to believe it, but she's starting now to suspect. And I'm just thinking to myself, Then she went to go talk to the hench dude, and then so she tells him, well, how come he wasn't at the meeting that was supposed to be there where Ronin intercepted and like killed all the people and stuff. And he's all like, oh, I didn't know anything about it, blah blah blah. And it's like, of course he knew something about it because the Kingpin set it up, and he's working for the Kingpin. So it's kind of like, oh, she's gonna have a turn of like heart or whatever you call it, and turn a new leaf, whatever that phrase is. And so it's like, no, this is happening too quickly. And of course, that's why they're gonna give her own show because, everything is so rushed in this show. And then so Kate and Clint, they make their like escape, and she calls an Uber. And I'm just like, why would you call an Uber for your big escape? Like, that's gonna put the driver in danger. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I do find funny about this is like, it always cracks me up how Kate just walks around town with a bow in her hands. Nobody never says anything. They're probably like, well, you know what? We got attacked about like 10 years ago with some aliens that came out of this giant hole in the sky. So walking around with an arrow and a bow is like nothing. And so, but once again in this episode, of course, who is the main like charismatic person? It's Kate. So Haley always does a great job. And so like her and Clint, they're talking some more. Then she tells him about like Jack, and so then she's hanging out, I think, at the dude's place that Clint is staying at, where Lucky is at. And then we see Kate's mom just like walking around town. And we see Yelena following her. And I'm all like, yeah, I know why you're following her. She hired Joe behind and stuff. And so then she texts Kate. And because see, Yelena has been in town this entire time. Like she said, she was impressed by Kate's moves and like how she ran in traffic and got the dog and all this other stuff. I will say this, Yelena does seem very tough. Like she can whoop anybody. I remember on Arrow, God, I forgot her name. The first Black Canary, who's now White Canary, who's on Legends. She kept punking out every guy talking about I've been trained by like the assassins. What's Ra's al Ghul's people called? The League of Assassins, and you know, and you don't want to try me. I'm just like, I never felt threatened by her, even though the actress is a former stunt actress and she can fight legit. I just never felt like threatened. But with Yelena, because Yelena's a little bit thicker, I felt threatened by this woman. So she tells her like, this is the woman that hired me to kill Clint and everything. And so of course Kate is upset because she sees it's her mom. And then the biggest reveal of them all, the man himself. No, not Becky Lynch. It is the Kingpin in the picture with her mom. So yes, I was right. Her mom did hire Yelena. And there was some shady mess going on. And somehow she's in cahoots with the Kingpin himself. Now, I'm pretty sure it's the same dude from the Daredevil show. Because he is supposed to be in this MCU at some point. It has been confirmed from another YouTuber that Daredevil is getting another series at some point in time. So everything's coming together with this. So this is basically just a setup for this. This is, like I said, this is, all these Disney Plus shows, Marvel shows, they're just a setup for Phase 4 and everything. They're basically like one giant trailer or something like that, you know? And so yeah, I was just like, holy crap, it's like the dude himself. He's out of prison and everything. But then again, you gotta stop and think about this. Is he still the same version that he was in the Netflix show? Because Kevin Feige didn't want no part of those shows because of Jeff Loeb and stuff. And I haven't seen No Way Home yet from the Spider-Man movie. I think Charlie is supposed to be in that movie. I don't know if they're going to change up their personalities and whatnot. It will kind of disappoint fans if they do. Because, you know, the Netflix show, the Daredevil one was just like perfect. You know what I'm saying? And so if they change that in a dramatic way, that's gonna suck and gonna piss off a lot of fans. But that's cool that they find. I never thought that this would ever happen. I never thought Daredevil would come into the MCU with the dude from the Netflix show. This is just like so cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I hope they bring over the Punisher. But there's another group I want them to bring over. The Runaways. The Runaways wasn't that bad of a show. The first season dragged a little bit too long. But the second season was actually pretty enjoyable. And the third season has some really cool episodes. Only problem is damage was done. The first season kind of bored people to tears that they just didn't tune in for the other seasons. But I tuned in. And it was actually like really enjoyable and stuff. And then it got canceled because of the whole Disney acquiring Fox crap. And then so they got canceled. But then it's like the Runaway show is still on Hulu, but it's also on Disney Plus. So it makes you wonder if they was more popular, they would bring them over, and it would be great. I would love to see Nico in like Doctor Strange movie. That would be awesome, but that's never gonna happen. Iron Fist, I could care less. What's his name? Luke Cage, I could care less too. Jessica Jones, I could care less too. Those three shows I never got into. And I tried so hard. I just could not get into those shows and stuff. Well, anyways, I'm so happy my theory was correct. I knew the mom was up to something. And it's a waste of a character with Jack. That whole red herring thing. I have no idea what the next episode is going to be like. It better be good. It better be good. It better be good. Because this show is just charming in just that. It's not a wow, pal, thank you, ma'am type of show. Bam, wham, and everything. It's not that. I am very surprised this was able to get greenlit the way it got greenlit, because I was expecting a whole lot more. Like, it would have been cool if it had been like Arrow season 1. That was pretty solid, you know what I'm saying? And this show has it doesn't even have that much action in this show. And when there is action, it only lasts for like a couple of minutes and then it's gone. And it's like, I want more. I need something to sink my teeth into. I need to feel relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be like, yeah. Like, I need to be like that after an episode. And I haven't been like that so far with this series. And it sucks because it's kind of like, once this show is over with, I ain't gonna see Haley in nothing no more. Like, Dickinson got canceled and stuff. And it's just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I have to wait for whenever she pops up in the MCU movies and crap. And so it's like, I sometimes I just wonder. I think Kevin Feige is starting to lose his mojo. Like, I really think he is. He is played out because the first 3 phases of the MCU were like awesome. Those characters, for the most part, are all gone except for like a few. A lot of people are not feeling phase 4 and all these new characters because most people don't know who these characters are. And also some people don't want their characters that they love to get replaced, which I thought for sure after Endgame, I thought they was going to like reboot everything and recast everybody and tell completely different stories. But no, they're keeping it going like this is an actual comic book. And I think that's kind of going to be its downfall. Because a lot of fans, they really don't want to see these people get replaced by most characters. They have no idea who they are. 'Cause a lot of these characters are still not necessarily new, but they've been around in the comics for at least 5 to 10 years, a decade at most. And like I said, a lot of people just don't know who they are. Like, I had no idea who Kate Bishop is. I had no idea who Ironheart is. I didn't even know who the Young Avengers were and stuff, And it's just like, a lot of people, they want the characters they grew up with and knew, you know what I'm saying? And so I think the smartest thing would have been to reboot this entire thing, but that's not going to happen. I haven't even seen the Eternals movies, but a lot of people have some mixed feelings about that. And, I'm getting really tired of these big cosmic people who are supposed to protect the universe, similar to that of Captain Marvel. And then all of a sudden they asked that one good question: well, where the heck were you when the Avengers movie came out? Well, I was off world, I wasn't supposed to interfere. And it's like, no, that's not a good enough answer. You know what I'm saying? Because now all of a sudden they're interfering. Well, anyways. Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.